All right, we have 12 o'clock noon and time for a presentation. Thank you all for joining us this afternoon. My name is Lisa Hoyland, and I'm honored to serve this year and next year as the Florida PTA Programs Chair. At this time, I would like to turn the program over to Madam Carolyn Nelson-Godert for opening remarks.
Thank you, Lisa. Welcome, everyone. I'm really happy to be here with you today as our programs committee brings to us two of PTA's premier programs, Reflections and School of Excellence. I know that you'll get some really good information from our team, and no doubt you'll leave here better able to run the programs at your respective local units and your county councils. I look forward to what the team has to share, and make sure you ask questions so that you are ready to go forward. Thank you. Thanks, Lisa.
Thank you. Our Vice President overseeing the Programs Committee this year and next year, it's a 2-year term, is Melanie Williams, who is currently our Secretary for Florida PTA. Melanie.
Thank you, Lisa. And this is a new thing for this year with the EC member overseeing these programs. So I'm not a vice president, just a secretary, but thank you. So I just want to introduce our fellow EC members that are here with us this morning. President-elect Maxine Lewis.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon.
Bert Miller, Regents and Councils, VP.
Good afternoon. Thanks for being here.
I saw Lawrence Claremont, our leadership VP. Lawrence, we're not seeing you, but I know you're here. Okay, good. Karen Mazzolo.
Welcome, everyone.
She's our education VP. We do have some other board members here with us, and of course, our office staff. I see Kimberly Adamski, our compliance officer. Am I missing anyone else? It's lovely to see everyone. So just want to make sure we don't miss anyone. Jeff Tisco is on our board. He's our technological guru, so he's here to help us. And I did see Alvin Gainey pop in. If there's anyone else I'm missing, please forgive me. Now, for the programs committee, you already met Lisa Hoyland, our chair. So I want to introduce you to Jenny Moon, who's our Reflections co-chair, Jenny Granger, who's our School of Excellence co-chair, and we have Geeta Raghunadan, who is our STEM co-chair. That being said, Lisa, back to you.
Okay, well, let's get started. So this time I'm going to turn it over to Jenny Moon, who is serving as our Reflections Chair.
Good afternoon, everyone. If you'll just give me a moment, I'll be sharing my screen. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us today for our Reflections program presentation. My name is Jenny Moon. I'm the Florida PTA Reflections Chair, and I'm joined today with Miss Vanessa, the former chair and now the committee member of Reflections. So today we'll be going over some very important information in regards to running your Reflections program and some great tips on making sure it's a successful year. First and foremost, I want to start off by remembering our PTA mission, which is to make sure every child's potential a reality by engaging and empowering our families, communities to advocate for all children. So the Reflections program is essentially a great way to promote engagement for our students and our families. And also some fun facts about the Reflections program that really helps us to kind of understand the depth and the impact of this program. So founded in 1969, it's one of our oldest and largest national student recognition program in arts. It also helps to encourage children to reflect on common theme and create original artwork. And each year, the PTA engage over 300,000 students and families in arts education through Reflections. And participating in programs like the Reflections program, it plays a critical role in kind of leveling the play field and developing students holistically, and really just becoming like a valuable tool for strengthening our relationships with school and community partners. And so now we'll kind of dive into the essentials of our duties that entails for our local and council leaders. And it's just a brief overview, and we'll go into more detail in a little bit. But essentially to register your PTA's participation in the National PTA. And some details such as distributing program materials, recruiting volunteers early on, collecting entries and coordinating the judging portion of the program. And of course, advancing our top entries. And it kind of varies depending on what level you're at. And last but not least, celebrating and recognizing our students. We see this to be the most kind of a very important part, to celebrating everyone's artwork and all their hard effort into the entries. And so one of the many unique opportunities besides the whole program in itself is the opportunity and Reflections in providing students in your schools a chance to select a next year's theme. I think this is kind of the fun part. You can send out a theme search flyer or perhaps set up an online doc form, and local units can submit their entries to Florida PTA for a chance for the students to be submitted into nationals. And to submit your theme to Florida PTA, the deadline is October 25th. And also for the national winner, it's selected in the month of February, so that will be in 2023. And of course, the last portion of this is that the winning student receives a $100 reward and national recognition. So kind of a fun idea to get your program started. And for this year, as you may already know, our theme is Show Your Voice. So it kind of dives deep into your creativity. The next portion of this, some very important information in regards to scheduling and deadlines. It's categorized into local units, county councils, state PTA, and national PTA. So I'll start off with the local units. To set your submission deadline, you got to check up and keeping up with your county council and regional reps. And deadlines vary, so you will definitely have to check up on that. And underneath that is a little sample. And again, this doesn't have any specific dates because it will change depending on where you are. So mid-October to mid-November, which is coming up very soon, review your entries, complete local judging. And by mid-November, again, depending on your area, the deadline to advance your winning entries to the next level. And there's a little slight note underneath that: units in council advance to council reflection chairs, and units not in council advance to region reflections chairs. So just wanted to clarify that. The next portion is for county councils. If you're part of the county council, keep in mind that by mid-December to mid-January, the county and region judging will be happening. And then there is a date here set January 16th, 2023. Reflections will be due to state PTA. And then for our state portion, the state PTA, March 1st is when the entries will be moving up to national. And early March, state winners will be announced and invited to state ceremony. And for the state ceremony, we don't have an exact date that is to be determined. So it will happen sometime in March. So that information will be going out accordingly. And then for the last part, National PTA, May 1st is when the winners will be announced. And we'll move into our, it's kind of broken out into order of events. Step 1. So this part it'll incorporate details in registering and recruiting and kicking off your program. So for registration wise, you'll need to register your PTA with National PTA Reflections Program as well as your state office. And then once that, if you need further information on that, there is a link right there. You can check out the Florida PTA website for more details. And in terms of connecting, so right about now, again, everybody's kind of at a different spot, but for the month of October, it is a National Arts and Humanities Month. So it's a great way, a leeway into promoting your program and kicking off by celebration. It could mean multiple of things. You can via social media, promoting in your websites, promoting on campus, school events. Using your teachers is a great resource to help promote the event within your school, asking them to hang signs on their classrooms, involving the teachers and making sure that the information gets out. And also the next portion of that is recruiting the volunteers to help you facilitate all of these. Promoting your programs, coordinating judges, and hosting celebrations. Again, recruiting your volunteers early on is essential. They'll help you get all the information out, answer questions, and just be a very good liaison for your program in general. And the step 2, now that kind of goes in with the volunteers. This is where we will be customizing and distributing your information. So you can decide how to accept your entries, whether it's digital or paper form. Now this portion I find to be very important so that you can get your materials out to your schools and your students and your parents. You can personalize it by adding your school logo, any kind of further information, and most importantly, contact information for your reflection chairs. Submission wise, where to submit it, who to submit it to, when to submit it by. And again, those dates you can set with your local units, and depending on your council when those deadlines are. And of course, including the additional rules for student eligibility and on the forms. And speaking of forms, this is just the form example on here, your entry form. This is what it will look like. Local units must be in compliance in order to participate in reflections. So definitely a good thing to check up on and make sure that is all in compliance. As you notice on the top portion, the local unit reflection chairs must complete all fields in the PTA box. So if you notice, it's highlighted in gray. So please make sure to overlook that before submitting. Now the bottom portion of it, student information, student signature, parent signature, category division, title, and the artist statement is all to be filled out by the artists, by the students. One thing that I do want to emphasize that we're going over is the artist statement to make sure that it is being filled out by the students. So of course, if there's accommodations that are needed, that could, but to encourage that it is written in the student's words. And for step 3, coordinating judging. This is a great opportunity to tap into your community and acquire special guest judges. And here are some examples of who you may reach out to: administrators, local artists, professionals, just teachers, former judges, reflections advocates, students, art professors from local colleges and universities. There's so many community members that you can reach out to. So please make sure to tap into that. It's also a great way to connect and have them kind of get involved with your unit as well. Oh, and for the next portion, I'm sorry about that. And for the next portion, I am going to pass this over to Miss Vanessa. She's part of our committee, and she will be going into the details of each category.
Hi guys, thank you. Jenny, if you don't mind driving the PowerPoint, that would be great. Okay, so we're going to discuss the different arts categories and the grade division overview first. It's the same divisions as before. If everybody could stay on mute, that would be great. Thank you. So we have the art categories of dance choreography, film, literature, music composition, photography, and visual arts. And then our grade divisions as well, the pre-K through the second grade, intermediate, we have middle school and high school. And the key points here are that all entries must be an original creation done by a single student. So you can have multiple students doing a dance together, but it has to be one student that enters that. All right. All right, so for the dance category, again, this could be a solo or an ensemble work. We don't want to have multiple students submitting the same one. Only one student can do it. If there are multiple, the others unfortunately would be disqualified. And then the video, it must not exceed 5 minutes, and the size requirements are 1,000 megabytes. For film production, again, this is just for one in particular student. The most important things here are that all screenwriting, directing, editing must be done by the student themselves. And that's one of the major things here. The video cannot exceed 5 minutes, just like in dance, and must not exceed 1,000 megabytes. And the use of the PowerPoint is prohibited. That's a big thing. Go ahead. For literature, this can be a poetry, this can be a book, this can be an essay, whatever the student decides. It must not exclude 1,000 words. It may be handwritten or typed on a single PDF file. The one thing as well to remember for this category is whatever the word count is at the very end, you're going to want to add that to the bottom of the submission. So that way we know exactly how many words there are. For music composition, they can be the composer, they can be the performer. We've had students who have created their own films, their own scores for various different categories. So definitely make sure that the notation, which says here, only required for middle and high school divisions. The notations must be in the PDF format, no more than 5 minutes, and 1,000 megabytes. And the use of copyright is prohibited. So for photography, one of the biggest key points here is that we cannot do collages or collections of photos. It has to be a single photo. And it must be no smaller than a 5x7, no larger than an 8x10. They can also mount it if they would like on a poster board, no larger than 11x14. No frames, please. And to include one digital image of artwork with the submission. The dimensions have to be at least 640 by 960 and 300 DPI. All right, go ahead. So for visual arts, this includes 2D works, 3D works. It is architectural drawings, models, the ceramics. We've been seeing a lot of computer generated images too, graphics, crafts. As far as the 3D works, it can be no larger than 12 inches by 12 inches by 12 inches. And you'll need to include 3 digital images of artwork at different angles submitted. For the special artist division, any students who identify as having a disability and receive services under the ADA, or have an IEP, the Section 504, they can enter with the Section 504, they can enter in the special artist division, or the grade division most closely aligned with their functional abilities. So this allows for certain students to have adaptive technology, transcribing, holding of the camera. But one of the biggest things is that the assistants must refrain from being involved in the artistic process. All right, and for step 4, advancing and celebrating your students, one of the biggest things to remember is we always want to celebrate our students. Celebrate, thank the students, the volunteers, the teachers, the staff, everybody. That's the biggest thing because it takes a lot of courage to submit to the reflections program. So when you're advancing and celebrating your students with your committee, you're going to want to think about the awards that you want to have for the categories and the grade divisions. Then you're going to advance the finalists to the next level according to your state PTA guidelines. For us, whenever from the local unit to the county unit, you can submit anywhere between 1 to 3 in each category. It's typically about 3 per category per grade. But once it gets to the county levels, the counties will send their top 3 entries in each category division to the state. And again, the biggest thing, you always want to celebrate your students. When you announce your winners online, tag National PTA, Florida PTA Reflections. There are awards at Shop PTA. Definitely showcase your students' artwork any way possible, in person, online. And don't forget to wrap up. Make sure you thank everybody. Personally, I still like handwritten letters. Give them a thank you. All of your judges, anybody who that you've encompassed in this reflections program. Return all of the artwork that is not advancing forward, and contact the students who are advancing in the competition. Definitely hold on to that artwork for right now until you're told otherwise. Host a debriefing. I would definitely record your notes and contacts for next year's reflections chair, things that worked, things that didn't work, so you can pass that on to the next person. And here is a validation of why we do reflections. It's so many different things, and each one of these art pieces are phenomenal. And I love seeing what all the children do. And I'll turn it over to Jenny.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Vanessa. So that kind of sums up our entire reflections program. Of course, if you have any questions, concerns, or any kind of communication you'd like to relay to us, our information's on here, reflections@floridapt.org, phone numbers as well. And you can always reach out to our programs chair, Miss Lisa, as well. If you have a second, there's QR codes on the bottom too that will give you a direct link to all the detailed information that you may need for your program. And if you don't have any other questions, I'm going to pass this over to Miss Lisa. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jenny, and thank you, Vanessa, for a great presentation on a wonderful National PTA program, Reflections. We do have about 5 minutes for questions. If anybody on the call has any, we can open up for 5 minutes.
Can you put the QR code back up so we can get that? I wasn't able to get it as quickly as she took it off the screen.
Yes, there you go.
Okay. All right, hold on one moment. And also I did have another question.
Okay.
All right, I was inquiring about the grant that has a deadline for the 27th of September to apply for that. And I was interested in getting more information. Who can I speak to about that to get more details?
We actually plan on presenting that after School of Excellence. Gita, our STEM chair, is going to talk a little bit about that grant, National PTA.
Okay, when would that one be done?
We're going right into School of Excellence right now, so within the hour.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you.
Any other questions? Otherwise, we will go ahead and turn the program over to Jenny Granger, and she will present School of Excellence. So one last look for questions.
Yes, I have a question.
Okay.
Um,
Jennifer?
Yes, I just wanted clarification on the word count for literature. I think it said 1,000 on the slide, and I think the forms say 2,000.
Jenny Moon, do you have that?
I was going to refer to Miss Vanessa if she's still on here.
Yep, I'm still here. Let me take a look at it and I can circle back with everybody.
Perfect, thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
Jennifer, where are you from? Still County?
Seminole County, yes. Altamont Springs,
Awesome. Thank you for joining us today.
thanks.
All right. Any other questions before proceeding? All right. Well, we will go ahead and proceed and turn the program over to Jenny Granger, who is serving as our School of Excellence Chair. Jenny?
Hi, everyone. My name is Jenny Granger. I am from Pinellas County. I'm currently your School of Excellence Chair for Florida PTA. I've been involved in PTA for about 9 years now. I currently am the president at the Safety Harbor Middle here in Pinellas County, and I do serve as the membership chair for Pinellas County Council right now as well. So that's me. So today we are going to be learning about the National School of Excellence program, more about family engagement and how you can strengthen your family school partnership through the National PTA School of Excellence program. All right. So family engagement is a research-proven approach to supporting student success, but the research shows not all family engagement has the same impact. Some family engagement strategies are more effective than others. That's why the National PTA worked with the leading researchers in this field to develop a formal definition of effective family engagement. And there are 3 components. So the first being that family engagement is a shared responsibility. Well, what does that mean? It means that schools, community agencies, and organizations working with families and families themselves all play a role in student success. Students and the community organization must engage families in meaningful and cultural respectful ways, and families must be committed to supporting their children learning and development. Did you notice that we aren't using parent engagement or parent involvement? This definition, especially the importance of engaging families in meaningful and cultural respective ways, has really helped to inform our shift to always saying family engagement. So second, it spans from cradle to career. So family engagement should be continuous across a child's growth from early Head Start programs to college and career. This includes an enduring commitment from parents and families and recognizing that parents' roles change as children mature in their young adults. Third, family engagement should be integrated across contexts. This means it should be carried out everywhere that a child learns: home, pre-kindergarten programs, school, after-school programs, faith-based organizations, community programs, and activities. Remember how the first 2 parts of the family engagement definition were shared responsibility from cradle to career? This slide sums up how families, schools, and community partners collaborate through a child's growth from infancy to adulthood to support student learning. Each of these destinations is a place where families can be engaged in meaningful ways to support student learning, as well as social and emotional development. So now that we know what family engagement is, let's talk about why it's so important. Researchers show that students with involved families, they earn higher grades and test scores, they pass their classes, they attend school regularly, and they have better social skills. But an important note here, there is no this is true no matter what the family income or background may be. That's why this program is so great. It works, or it focuses on increasing family engagement. So this is why the National PTA developed the National Standards for Family School Partnership, which articulates what family engagement should look like at the school level. These standards are used by school, PTA, and community leaders nationwide as a framework for thinking about structuring and assessing family engagement. And on the screen, you will see the puzzle pieces that make up these 6: welcoming all families, communicating effectively, support student success, speaking up for every child, sharing power, and collaborating with community. These are the standards that are the foundation for the National PTA School of Excellence. Whether you're looking to step up your PTA's involvement in school improvements or something meaningful is already happening between your PTA and school that deserves recognition. All right, so it all starts with this commitment. So let's talk about the program. So this is the vision statement for the program. At a National PTA School of Excellence, families feel welcomed and empowered to support student success, and PTA is a key partner for continuous school improvement. And like I mentioned earlier, the great thing about this program is it doesn't matter where anyone's from. It doesn't matter what income level you have at the school. That's not what this is about. So any school can do this. So imagine a year from now, your PTA strengthen its collaboration with school leaders, staff, and community supports a way that's measured impact on the school and students. Imagine your school leaders looking to you as an essential partner for engaging families and informing school improvements. Imagine the celebration your PTA, its families, and school partners could have when you prove to the whole community that there's something really important happening at your school. Imagine being among the class of National PTA School of Excellence Award recipients, celebrating throughout your state and across the country. You can do this. So this is just a snapshot of the timeline. We will get into details in future slides. So the first thing is about enrollment, enrolling by October 1st. Now this has been open for a while, so some of you may have already enrolled and now you're just trying to figure out what to do. But enrollment is done by October 1st. So within this enrollment, you will start to, the enrollment process is fairly easy. And I'm going to go to the next slide. This is a sample form. And I will email out, I do have a link where the sample form can be found. But enrolling at that point, when you enroll, you don't have to have a plan yet. That's the great thing about it. So this is a sample form of some information. It's about 3 pages long, but you will have to know some information about your school. I'm going to move on to the next slide. And the main thing is about your school demographics. So most of you can probably answer the first section. School demographics might be something that you need to work with, maybe a secretary, your school principal, maybe there's a bookkeeper, somebody that can help you get some of this information, because this will be needed when you enroll. And here's the 3rd page. Again, there is a sample out there online. I do have a link, so I will put that in the chat when I stop presenting.
Jenny, it's in there now.
Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so what do you do next? So you've enrolled, great. So from September to October, because November 1st, there's another deadline for this survey. So from September to October, you're going to deploy the National PTA's Baseline Family School Partner Survey, okay? The one thing to know here is there's no minimum numbers needed. If you get 6 back, send it in. If you get 160 back, send it in. If you get 1 back, send it in. There's no minimum numbers. And one way that you can go about trying to get these surveys, they are a paper form. You'll get a link to a paper form, so you can send paper forms home. I know that's easier usually in elementaries than it is maybe middle or high. And I'll show you in a minute, there are some options you can do it online. But if you do it online, you have to make sure the questions are asked exactly. Doesn't necessarily need to be the format of the page, but the questions and their options to choose has to be exactly the same. So you have to make sure of that. Go to an event. If you have an event coming up, take either the papers, or if you have it online already, use a QR code so they can do it while they're at the event. I used to literally walk the car line. How many of you know parents that are an hour to 30 minutes ahead sitting in car line? Have a piece of paper, have a pen, hand it to them. Say, I'll be back in 10 minutes. It takes 3 minutes to fill it out. So walk a car line. If your principal puts out an all-call weekly, have them put out there. Maybe there could be a link to it, or if you do send it home, remind them to do it. So there's a lot of different ways to get a survey done. And you just want to make sure that you get input from all families, so you're getting a very broad perspective of what you see going on. So when you do register, you're going to get some tools. And one of the tools is this nice little format that you can modify as you need, that the National PTA will give you. So there's like a little introduction letter if you want to use it, if you send it home. They'll also send you a link online for your family survey. Again, they have to be asked exactly like this. You have to say the exact words, give them the option of unknown, never, sometime, frequently, and always. Again, it doesn't have to be in this exact looking format, but the questions absolutely need to be exact. It's about 3 pages long, or not about, but it is. It truly doesn't take but 3 to 5 minutes for someone to fill out. And then some options, obviously, many people know about Google Forms, SurveyMonkey, SurveyFace is another one. Again, QR code you can use. Everybody knows that. Again, if you're at an event, you got one coming up, use that QR code where they're sitting there waiting or doing whatever at the event, they can fill it out there. Now, so after you compile the results, you're going to want to analyze the data. So at this time, you need to give yourself enough time so that you can hold a meeting with your school administrator. Maybe they come to your general or to your board meetings, so that you can discuss the results. And in this meeting, you can determine what objective that you're going to focus on. Are you going to focus on education? Are you going to focus on health and safety? Or do you want to focus in the arts? It just has to be one. It doesn't have to be all of them. Okay. So with your school administrator, you want to choose one of those focuses during the school year. And maybe the school's already focusing on one of those, so you can piggyback off that. And this is just an example of maybe if you did it online, or some results examples, so you can kind of see where where maybe you could focus on versus where maybe you're already doing pretty good. So you're going to continue to what you're doing now. So we'll help do that or help you with your analysis. Now, November 1st is when you need to submit those applications online, and you're only submitting the results. You're not submitting the actual paperwork or your survey, so you don't have to worry about that. But the one thing you want to make sure is that you're collecting the highest ranked response. And what I mean by that is, when you tally your results, and in question 1, you have 10 unknown, but you have 47 great, or whatever that option was. pick the higher of the two. That's what you pick. So it's whatever column has the most in it is the one that you're going to submit as your result to that question. Okay. So again, November 1st. So you want to do registrations October 1st, give yourself some time to give the survey, get the results back, talk with your school administrator, and determine that objective. So then you can submit by November 1st. And at that point, when you submit, the National PTA gives you some great tools. And in these tools, it will give you a roadmap. Okay. So this is part of the toolkit, and you'll be able to access it online throughout your entire time. And this is where these recommendations are aligned to those 6 national standards that we talked about earlier, right? So you can see them here on the screen. The one thing I want to make sure that you guys don't try to do too much. Find 1 or 2 areas to focus on. You don't have to do everything this year. They're just looking to see if you're at 0 and you get to 50, great. They're not looking for you to get from 0 to 100 in your very first year. They just want to see when you submit at the end, there's been some improvement based on the results from your community, from your families that you give the survey to. Okay. So in this roadmap, you're going to follow it throughout the year. You might have to adjust it based on things that come up through the year. That's okay. You'll want to make sure that you use the tools that the National PTA gives you. You'll also want to regularly, whether it's on your board agenda every month, whether you have a PTA team, excellence team, and you have some volunteers that will help you implement this throughout the year, you'll want to make sure you meet with them regularly. The one thing that I do see a lot of is you get excited in the beginning, and then January and February hit and you lose steam, right? So you just want to make sure that you follow all the way through to the end of the year. So now you're going to deploy your final survey. This is the exact same survey. So if you did it online the first time, use it again, right? If your first methods of getting some surveys didn't work, now you might have another method. Maybe you have a big event coming up that now you can put it against, where maybe to get the initial ones you didn't have. So make sure that you conduct that final family school partnership survey. Again, same exact survey. We're asking them the same exact questions. And again, no minimum is required. If you got 150 the first time, but you only got 75 the second time, that's okay. Submit it. You're going to tally the results exactly the same way. Again, it's that high one. Okay. Then June 1st is when you need to submit online. You want to make sure, though, your PTA, PTSA is in compliance. You cannot win if you're not in compliance. So make sure you're in compliance. Okay. Submit those surveys online. Now, the biggest difference between your initial submission, you're just submitting your results. You got so many in this area, so many in that area. This time now, when you submit, you have to give some supporting narrative. They're basically just trying to ask, how did you go from unknown to sometimes, right? They want to know in that area what you did. Now, mind you, in some of these areas, you're going to have the same, you might have some of the same answers because they all fit kind of in the same box, and that's okay too. But you will need to have some supportive narrative because you need to let them know what you did throughout the year. And then what will happen, they'll give you a new roadmap to success. So based on your answers, you might have shifted a little, and now you're doing really great in here. So maybe there's another area to focus in for next year. So you always have the ability to have those continued efforts, right? But again, June 1st is the deadline. So make sure you have time to not only get your survey results back, but be able to put some supportive narrative to it. Now, You submit in June, you don't find out till August. It's like that kid at Christmas, right? Oh my gosh, it's never going to come. So August is when they will announce the awardees. And if you do win, that is super awesome. You want to make sure you celebrate. They'll send you an awesome banner you'll get to put up at your school. They'll send you some celebration tools. And then the nice thing about it is you now have a 2-year designation. So if you win for the 2022-23 school year, you're good for the 23-24. You don't have to register, enroll until that following year. So you have essentially the year you did it, the next year that you're good for, you don't have to submit and try for it again. Okay. Again, you want to celebrate, you want to recognize, you want to make sure that everyone knows what your efforts, your families, your school, your staff, your school staff, administration has done. All right. Any questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
A few questions for the demographics. I had asked our principal to give me that information, and she had told us that we weren't allowed to have that information. Is there a way to go around to get that information?
Oh, wow. I don't know why you can't, you're not giving names.
She said it was out of privacy, we weren't allowed to. And I said the exact same thing, that I wasn't asking for names, just.
Yeah, because you know, in all honesty, what you may be able to do, I'll have to find out if there's another way. I'll be honest, I've never encountered anyone not being able to get it because it's not specific names.
Okay. I can ask again and see if she, and like, I don't know, is there some website that?
Let me see if there's another way. I know sometimes online you can find some stuff, but let me see if there's another way.
Okay. And then another question for you. We actually just started doing the survey. We did it paper-wise. Our problem is some of the teachers haven't given it to their students. So we've been emailing it out to folks. And I was wondering, is it bad to do it different ways where we have it online? Because we also have a Facebook group that we could post the questions online and then have them answer it. So could it be like where you have it on paper and online?
You absolutely can do it whatever way. If you want it paper and online, you can do that as well. Because maybe at an event, it makes more sense to do the online version where you're somewhere else where you could do a paper version at the same time to get results. And that's okay. It doesn't have to be one or the other.
Perfect. And then I'm sorry, I have 2 more questions. You probably said this, but how do we get the results to you? Do we mail them or email them?
No. So when you enroll, you'll get this nice little packet toolkit from them, from National PTA, and it will have all the instructions in it as to what link, because you'll have to actually load it online to National PTA.
Okay. And then third question, or last question, I'm sorry. When I went and got the questions off online, there were only 20 sets of 20 questions. And then when I was looking at the PowerPoint, it looked like there was 31.
So that's an old one. They may have changed it this year. I haven't seen the questions yet this year.
I'm having a panic attack. Okay.
No. They may have changed it. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know about that specifically. I was just taking an example.
Okay, no, that's perfect. Thank you. Because like I said, I pulled it up. We actually deployed the questions already. We're waiting for them to give us back.
Okay.
So
yeah. So if so you've already registered then, correct?
Yeah, we registered already.
Or enrolled. Sorry, I keep using the word registered.
I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Then they would have, whatever they would have sent you via that email and that toolkit, that's what you need to use.
Okay, perfect. That's what we did use. All right. Thank you so much for letting me bombard you.
Jenny, quick question for Shane. What county are you with, Shane?
Volusia County.
Okay, we'll be able to help you find that information. Should be public knowledge.
Oh, for the demographics?
For the demographics,
okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
And just to share, if you scroll back up and chat a bit further, you'll see that there's a Department of Education site out there I posted that if you search for your school and or your county, you'll see some demographic information there for the last school year as well.
Okay, so that should be pretty accurate if the principal is unwilling to give us that information.
Okay,
I'd say probably a good reference unless anybody else disagrees.
that was actually going to be my question. Those report cards are from last school year. Is that valid to use?
Yeah, it is. You're never going to have an accurate, because your picture is going to change sometimes throughout the year. Kids leave, kids come, right? So they want a better understanding of, are you really in a Title I, or, you know, where it sits. So they're not looking for, oh my gosh, they said 47% and they're 45%. They can't win. Like, that's not where they're looking. So I think you're good. Unless
Perfect.
for whatever reason you've had a school zone redrawn and like it's completely different, then you should be fine.
Jenny, we had one question in chat before moving on, and that was, it's a new PTA, and is this a good time to start, or should they wait a year?
Absolutely, this is a good time, because now you know, now you at least have something to work towards, right? I don't think there's ever a bad time to start. And if you do need some help, my information is on here. My phone number, as well as an email address. And I can help you guys out. And if we need to sit down and have a 30-minute chat, an hour meeting, whatever, I'll be happy to do that.
All right, thank you, Jenny, for a great presentation. We do have to move forward because of time, and we have some announcements to be made. Want to thank the committee for all the work that you put in making this successful. We will have a 7 o'clock call, so you're welcome to join us again at that point. The announcements, I'd like to start with Gita for talking about the STEM grant, or the National PTA grant that's coming up. Gita?
Hello, everybody.
Jenny, stop sharing your screen, Jenny.
I know, I'm finding the button. It's my
Okay.
3 screens. I lost it.
Sorry, Gita, go ahead.
No problem. I can share my PowerPoint if that's okay, just so everyone can see it. There we go. I'm just going to put it on here right now. And here we go. Everyone can see this? Yes. Okay, great.
little bit-
So a little bit smaller. Oh, yeah.
Bigger.
A little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger. Oh, it's
If not, it's okay.
okay. There we go. Okay, how's that? Okay, so National PTA is offering a STEM grant for elementary schools. It is awarding $1,000 each to 35 PTAs who are willing to host a hands-on STEM Propelling Our World program, which is an engineering design challenge. The application deadline is Tuesday, September 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. You can get the application for the grant, as well as more information about what this design challenge is, examples, how to host it. All that information is on the PTA website. And just a reminder that all units must be in compliance in order to be eligible for this grant. I will drop the link into the chat.
Great, thank you. That's exciting information for our local units, and who doesn't want money? So go ahead and apply for that grant. We still have time to do that, and let's press forward to having a STEM event at your local unit and county council this year. Any other quick announcements before we close out the session?
No one answered about the application for September 27th grant that I asked about, said they were going to discuss that.
Yes, that is what she just discussed. And she's placing the link
Only
into
for
the chat.
elementary?
Yes, that one is only for elementary.
So the one for September 27th, it's only because it didn't say that, I didn't, from what I saw.
Yes, so that one is that STEM, and for this one, for the Propelling Our World, for that $1,000, it is under the programs for elementary school, so it is only for elementary.
Okay, so what about the one that just said that there was a grant that you can apply for and it was due by September 27th and it just had different backgrounds? So I just thought that all schools could participate. So that is not one, maybe I'm misunderstanding or read it incorrectly.
No, Adrian, no misunderstanding. National PTA has a lot of grants that you can apply for. We were only highlighting the STEM one for this presentation. But are you referring to the art grant in particular?
No, I'll call you offline and we can talk, Melanie.
Okay, do that. Yes,
Okay.
please.
All right.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay,
Mhm.
sure.
Okay. Well, I'll give you back the last 5 minutes of your hour. Thank you all for joining us, and hopefully we will definitely increase reflections and school of excellence within our schools.
Actually, hi there, Lisa. I have some announcements.
Yes. I'm sorry. Thank you, Madam President.
That's okay. The young lady that just asked about the grants from National PTA that are due on the 27th. Who was that?
That's me, Adrian German.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi.
I put the link in the chat for you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome.
Carolyn, thank you so much. I was actually
welcome.
gonna call you today if I didn't get it, or Melanie. So thank you. I appreciate that link, the link.
You're welcome. I'd also like to give you guys a heads up about next week's Road to Success, which will also be super exciting. And I hope that you will join us. We will have, our Education Commission, Social Responsibility, and our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Justice subcommittees presenting on Hispanic Heritage Week. The registration will open tomorrow, and I have no doubt that once again, you'll be given a great presentation. Also like to make you aware of our first local unit leader open mic night, which will take place this Friday evening and is open to all of our local unit leaders to get together in an open forum to talk about issues that are affecting your PTA. Everyone is invited to join us. I just put the link for registration to that Zoom event in the chat as well. Thank you all for joining us today, and I'm going to turn it over to our president-elect to close us out.
Hello, everyone. I just want to say thank you again for joining us at 12 o'clock and giving up your lunch and spending time with the programs committee. I just want to thank Melanie, Lisa, Jenny, and Sita for a great presentation. Please join us again tonight at 7 p.m. And again, thank you again for being part of our PTA family. Melanie?
Thank you, Maxine. And again, just to say thanks to everyone. Lisa, great job with the programs team, Jenny Moon, Jenny Granger, and Jida. Thank you so much. And of course, Karen, you have a link to drop in the chat for us. We need bodies. We need volunteers. Please come on over, help us. For the programs committee, we need a vice chair. We need some other subcommittee chairs. So just reach out to us. The link, Karen Zola is going to drop in the chat for us. So please find some time. We are here, we'll support, and we will help. But we need bodies, okay? Thank you so much. Again, thank you. I did see Heather Chisco from the office on. I don't want to miss our wonderful support at the state office. Heather is our membership data coordinator. And all our county council presidents who are here, thank you so much. And regions rep, thank you for joining us. Okay, have a great lunch if you need to go get lunch, or afternoon. And we will be back at 7, the same presentation. So you might want to do a refresher course, or you want to invite some other folks to join you. Spread the love and get everybody over here. We got to do better with reflections and School of Excellence in Florida. So we want to see a great increase. That's our goal. Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Have a great afternoon, everybody.
Thank you so much.